Hi, Emily. My name is Nick. I'm going to be walking you through this session. Before we begin, I have some information, and I'll read it to you so we cover everything. You probably have a good idea what this is going to be about before I asked you to come today. We're testing a website, and we're working on it to see what it's like for people to use it. The session should take only about 10 minutes. I want you to make it clear right away that we're testing the site and not testing you. You can do anything wrong here. In fact, this is probably the place today where we're looking for the most mistakes. We want to hear exactly what you think. Don't worry about, we won't hurt your feelings. Just think about ways to improve it. So we need to honestly know what you think and state it out loud. So tell me what's going through your mind, and that'll help us. Do you have any questions before we begin?
No questions.
Okay. Before we look at the site, I'll ask you, what is your occupation?
I am editorial assistant for several journals at UVM.
Okay, roughly how many hours a week do you spend on the internet, web browsing, email?
Probably about 50 hours a week.
What's the split between email and browsing? What percentage?
Probably about 10% email, 90% browsing.
What kind of sites do you look at? What are your favorite websites?
Social media, I like Facebook, BuzzFeed, Tumblr, that's most my entertainment, Netflix, of course, and then sites relating to school, so PubMed and email and such.
Okay, great. We're done with questions, and now we're going to do a homepage tour. First, I'd like to ask you to look at this page and tell me what you make of it. What strikes you about it, whose site you think it is, what you can do here, and what it's for. Just look around and do a little narrative. You can scroll if you want to, but don't click on anything yet.
Okay, so this looks like a site to help people with computer questions, specifically about Excel for Windows. So there's a little topics, I guess, you can pick from. Seem pretty easy to read, pretty straightforward in terms of what you can learn. And then there's a bar that goes across the top, and I'm not exactly sure what that would be for, but yeah, overall I'd say it's a pretty straightforward website, not too flashy. Yeah.
Okay, if you had to take a guess, what do you think? You said it was computer related, but what exactly is it related to?
I mean, it looks like it's related to Windows computer and how you would use Excel, maybe answering common questions about Excel for Windows computers.
Okay, now if you were at home, what would you click on first?
I would probably click on the home page. That would be my first guess. I mean, without any specific questions, I wouldn't know which topic to pick from.
Okay, now we're going to try some specific tasks. Again, try to think out loud as you're going along. Could you think of some work-related or service that you could use this site to help you with?
Yeah, so I guess if I was using Excel and I wasn't exactly sure how it worked on this computer, if I was new to it or switching computers, I would probably, maybe the merge wouldn't work the same and the copy paste functions wouldn't work the same. I would click here. Or if I was having trouble with like figuring out how dating worked, sometimes that can be confusing on Excel, I would probably go to this one.
So if you're working in a Mac and you would like to build a full spreadsheet for data analysis and running macros, What would you do first?
I'd probably click on the Mac tips because right now it looks like we're at like Windows tips. So that's where I'd go first. Then go maybe info problems, settings, something like that.
Well, which one? Click on it.
All right. Okay. And
What do you think to click on now?
so what was the
Oh, if you were using a Mac and you needed to, create a data sheet and you wanted to run macros so you could clean up data quicker.
Okay. So let's see. I don't see anything about macros here, so I should probably go back. Mail, don't need that. Files, folders. I would maybe go to other topics because I'm not seeing anything about macros. Maybe go here to custom or default sheet templates.
You see anything that would be useful now?
Let me see. Again, I'm looking for the keyword macros. I'm not really seeing it here. Oh, there it is. Here's an example of how to use macros.
Well, let's go to another task. Go back up. If you wanted to know relevant articles, where would you go and what kind of articles are given?
Let's see. Articles right here, as they give for Windows and for Mac. So pretty straightforward depending on what computer you had.
And then if you were going to search those articles, where would you go now?
Search option or well, I would probably maybe click Excel for Mac. That's what I have. And so it looks like there's 4 articles here about different kind of tips. There's also a search option looks like I could use if I needed something more specific. So that's where I would go.
And if you wanted to learn more about who designed and created a site, what would you do?
So for who designed created it, maybe go to about or even contact. So about, yeah, you see it has the copyright information, site designed by Spiderweb Woodbin Designs.
What would you think to click on first?
Let's see, I would go to the contact page, find out more information about who made it.
How about the Windows and Mac tips? Are they comparable?
Let's see. Windows tips, Macs tips. So it looks like there's a little more for Windows, but they seem to have pretty much the same information.
And as a Mac user, you would probably only look into the Mac. You wouldn't go into the Windows at all.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't unless I had to use a Windows computer, in which case I probably wouldn't know anything about Excel. So this would be pretty useful for that.
Okay, now that wraps up about the tasks. Now we're going to do some, we're done with the tasks. I have a few questions what these pictures near the top mean. Top of the page mean.
Okay, so this picture I think is pretty recognizable as the Excel logo with the X in the spreadsheet. And then this is some kind of Microsoft logo.
Is it associated with the web page or the individual who made the web page and is giving the information? What do you think?
I think it is more associated with the web page. The web page is about Microsoft Excel. I don't see any logos that are like more individualized for the web makers, except for maybe the central title.
Now I'm going to ask you a more specific question. Where do you think you find an example workbook for cleaning dirty data in Windows?
In Windows.
You can browse and
okay. So for cleaning up data, I would look at the drop-down menu. So not saying anything specific about examples, maybe I would click other topics. Oops, did I do that one?
That's good.
Oh, did it? Okay. Oh, there we go. So cleaning up data, so there are VBA code display. So I'm sorry. Oh, it goes.
You were just over it.
I was? Oh, okay. Oh, look.
And what is the, now go to Mac.
Okay.
You need to think about a problem question. The 6 code problem question. What is it?
The 6
you
code
look in the
problem question.
And then you see those title for things.
Okay,
I'm
so
asking about a problem.
Oh, so there it is. Problems. So problems list.
The 6th one. Number 6.
There we go. So okay. So so this just looks like ways to fix that problem. You type in these sort of codes, and it tells you, kind of gives you troubleshooting information here.
But you would have to know the code first, and then apply this formula. Another question, going back to the main navigation area, where are the MSDN publications?
MSDN
publication,
right. So that would again be my first looked articles again. Okay, so it looks like there's a lot of MSDN articles here. Oh my gosh, what have I done?
It took you out of the browser. So are there things that you think on the site you didn't pay much attention to, and the reason why?
Okay, I guess I didn't pay a lot of attention to the home page, or maybe that's where we were the whole time. I didn't realize, or maybe I didn't realize how to use the home page, or if maybe there's just not a lot of stuff that I didn't specifically pay attention to it.
And you're looking for specific content. You were looking for not
exactly right. So if I was looking for specific content, I would almost about Macs. I would probably ignore most of the other stuff, especially about Windows and articles about Windows, for example.
So you either pick to go under Mac tips or go to the search tool.
Exactly. Yes.
Now, out of this test, what are the at least five recommendations do you think? And the major fixes that can be done to improve how you see the site and use it.
So I guess I'm sorry, I don't know how to use this computer. Great. So I guess one example is when you go to say tips, other topics, I have to go scroll through all of them. It doesn't really give a list of what those other topics would be. Maybe if you had it as a drop down, or just listing them all at the top where you could link to bottom ones.
Or even on the side.
Or even on the side, right. So, and that would be for Windows and Macs, but
because you're scanning the page quickly for what you need.
Exactly. So, and I'm looking for those like kind of key terms and stuff. Yeah, and maybe have more examples of troubleshooting problems. maybe even links to videos of people actually doing this would help.